Reminiscence, starring Hugh Jackman, was kind of boring. I was looking forward to this movie for a while when I first saw the teaser trailer. Now, maybe my expectations were subverted because, yes, the underwater city is just really a backdrop for the actual story, which was kind of disappointing. I would have much rather seen the movie dealing with that, right? So maybe just because I thought that it was going to be like some kind of action movie, which it kind of was, but it was more of a murder mystery. So if you haven't seen this movie, consider this your spoiler warning, because I will be talking spoilerish things about this movie. So it's basically this movie, or the plot as I could simplify it, or the way I could simplify it, is just, it's not really time travel, even though in the beginning monologue it says about time travel, but it's just basically going into memories, right? And going back in time that way through a specific person's memory. And Wolverine gets to see it in this little device that he developed or he invented, where he could see these memories live, and then he went in that room, could see it live, and the police use it to solve crimes and etc. So it's basically that. And Wolverine is the last one to, or maybe not the last one, but one of the few last ones that uses this technology, and which, according to the movie, is kind of dying out. Like, no one really uses it anymore. It's just more about nostalgic people that miss their dog, miss their ex-wife, miss their husband, miss one of these experiences in their past, and want to kind of just get this nostalgia fix, which I get. I mean, look at modern TV now with all the nostalgia that we have, being bombarded in our eyes. Whether it be cartoons, whether it be shows, whether it be reboots, whether it be whatever. So I did enjoy the premise of that, and watching Miami, because that's where this takes place, in the futuristic Miami and New Orleans for a little bit, that is now underwater due to climate change and global warming. And like I said earlier, it's a bit of a murder mystery, where Wolverine falls in love with this client that comes in here, and we find out that he kind of got infatuated with her because of a song. I think it was her grandma that used to him or sing, or his grandfather that used to sing, and no one else sung it until this woman. But then we find out that this woman was kind of working for someone else, and at the end of the day, like, she did fall in love with Wolverine, but there was like this whole backdrop that got a little bit convoluted. So I'm not gonna give that too much away. You have to watch the movie to understand the plot. It's very convoluted. If that would be, that probably be the best way to put it. It's a very convoluted plot and story to get to the payoff. So go ahead and check out this movie and let me know what you guys think about it, or if you guys could even follow along. So I mean, I'll say really follow along, because it's kind of boring. The pacing is really, really bad. I know for these types of movies, there's a whole mess of monologues, there's a whole mess of talking. There's you gotta flesh out the story, but you could have knocked out like half an hour of this movie, and it could have been an hour and a half, and it would have hit a lot better. The pacing could have been more intrigued. You could have been more like, oh my god, like, it could have just kept you building and building and building until the middle of the movie, where the twist happens, and then you start seeing everything like bam, 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 and it does get like that part from the middle on, where you start realizing what's going on, and it starts unraveling. It becomes super more interesting. So why it couldn't get to that point, or why test screeners? I don't know if they had test screeners, but why didn't they see that the enthusiasm would happen more in the middle of the movie, and then get people talking about that? I don't know. It's beyond me. So watching Wolverine get whooped for a woman is kind of weird. But he played it good. His acting in this movie, Hugh Jackman, aka Wolverine, was really good. I commend him for that type of very expressive, very good acting choice and how he portrayed this character. And not only him, honestly, I think everyone else in the cast did a great job in acting. They were very believable. They worked good with each other. So I didn't have any, quandaries, I guess, with the acting. And it was a good story. Don't get me wrong. I know I said it was boring, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a good story. It just took forever to unravel. And maybe for some people, the more intelligent a story is, the more they like it. And maybe I'm just dumb and didn't understand the story or didn't follow the story good enough, even though I did. I mean, but for me, it was just, I guess it just took too long, but it's an okay story. And it was definitely original, taking a few aspects of real world, like an underwater city, the nostalgia, how to, how the future might look. Because there is articles about saying that, and I think there was another movie that dealt with that, but there was this article saying that there's technology coming around where they'll be able to get into your head and see your intentions in the future. How that can happen, I don't know. But I mean, I know this is dealing with the past, but it's the same premise where if you could go in the past, you could technically go in the future and see someone's habits or what they can do, what they're capable of doing. Whether that will ever be admissible at court is beyond me. But I'm digressing at this point. So for me, this movie was a C plus. It was gonna be just a C, but I think because of its originality, because it was a good story and great acting, it's the only thing that saves this movie. Because you do believe the characters, every one of them, and I don't think there was one character that I was like, oh, there's this actor that I know and he's not doing a good job. No, I think all of them, you believe them, you get sucked into the world, so that saves it. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.